Hey guys, it's Bill. So, some of you've heard this story before. I've told it at several of our bushcraft meetups, and so I guess this has been about 24 years ago now. My uncle and I had taken my two boys, Matthew, who was 10, and Eric, who was 6, hiking down at Angel Falls, and we were going to spend the night back at the 3 mile mark right at Angel Falls. So we got back there. Uh, we had just set up our tent, and my uncle and I was going to walk down to Angel Falls and just take a look, maybe take some pictures. So we did, and while we were there, my uncle turned to me and says, "Where are you boys at?" And I said, "Well, they're right up there at the top of the hill." Said they're at the campsite, and he looks up and he goes, "Oh, I see Matthew up there in the orange shirt." And I just kind of shook my head a little bit. I mean, I assumed he was talking about Matthew's red hair, um, and I didn't remember if he had an orange shirt on or not, but I didn't think so. So anyway, we had turned and we went back up to camp, and then me and the boys had went back down, and we were going to take some photos down at the creek. And we did. We took a few. We messed around down there a few minutes, and on the way back up, I was kind of thumbing through some pictures, walking behind the boys, and I just sort of glanced up, and I saw this little boy in an orange T-shirt, and I thought, well, that's the young boy that my uncle saw. And I kind of glanced back down at my camera, and I noticed he had stepped to the side, and we'd walked past, and I thought, well, that was pretty polite of him. So I was going to turn around and tell him thank you, and when I turned around, he wasn't there. So I thought, Then I connected the two, that my uncle saw a little boy in an orange shirt, and I just saw a little boy in an orange shirt. And so I didn't make a big fuss out of it. I didn't want to stir anything up, but I talked to my uncle about it later, and he kind of blew it off. And later on, I talked to my boys about it, and they kind of blew it off because I didn't really bring it up and make no big stink out of it. So anyway, about 12 years later, I had a meetup up in Big South Fork with a bunch of bushcrafters. And while we were up there, one of the rangers came by, and I was telling him my story about seeing the little boy in the orange shirt. And he said, "Well, I haven't heard about it." He said, "I know somebody that's been around that long that probably would." He said, "I'll let you know." Well, it wasn't long. He came back down there, and he found me. And he said, "Well," he said, "there is some truth to the story." He said, "There was a little boy that passed back then, drowned at Angel Falls. And when his body was found, he was found in an orange shirt and blue jeans." So he had confirmed it for me. And of course, he still didn't really believe me either. He thought it was just a story. But it was true. He was there, and then he wasn't there. It wasn't a horror story. It wasn't anything scary. It was just a little boy that was hanging around with my boys. I don't understand. If any of us have any insights on paranormal or anything like that, let me know. Leave a comment. All right, guys. Thanks.